to a BookMob episode 84. Today I'm going to be talking about 6 books coming out or have recently been published, and it's 6 books written by 6 blokes, books for blokes. Now, out in the world there, when I ask people who reads, I generally find a lot of men don't seem to read. Now, I know it's a generalization, and I'm sure a lot of men read in the world. But what I'm saying is a lot of people in my circle, it's very difficult to find a constant reader who happens to be a man. Anyway, so I found 6 books that have just come out or have been released earlier on this year but are still hot on the shelves. And I'm going to talk about these 6 books that you, if you know the man in your life, your husband, your brother, your cousin, your lover, whatever, and you want them to enjoy a good Christmas read, then maybe one of these 6 books you'll find worthy to pass off as a Christmas gift and start the love of reading for the new year 2026. All right, the first book I'm going to be talking about is by Matthew Reilly, and that is called The Detective. Now, this is a book that is about, Matthew Reilly is well known for his sort of mystery puzzle books, finding pyramids with numbers and symbols. And so anyway, but this book is kind of like a departure for his usual readership. And I just thought, because of the detective-orientated storyline, this might make a very, very good, engaging and entertaining read for a bloke who isn't normally a reader. So that's Matthew Reilly, The Detective. Okay, the next book is by Dan Brown, and you all know Dan Brown from the Da Vinci Code, and he's just released a book called The Secrets of Secrets. And again, it's Robert Langdon, the guy who goes along and solves the mysteries of the Da Vinci Code, and he's written several other books, but this is his latest book, The Secret of Secrets. And again, I think it's going to be a compulsive read. It's going to be an enjoyable read, a page turner that will get the most non-reader to enjoy sitting down a couple of hours a day to enjoy reading a great story that's basically been written for pleasure and entertainment, something to wind down the clock, sit on the patio, have a few beers, and have a good read. So that's Dan Brown, The Secret of the Secrets. Now, The Secret of Secrets. Gee whiz, okay. And the next one is Cry Havoc by Jack Carr, and I've been a big fan of Jack Carr since he released his first book about, 6 years ago. This one is called Cry Havoc, and it's about the first 7 books are about Reese, the Navy SEAL, who's on the revenge path. But this book, Cry Havoc, is about the character Reese's father, and he has how his beginnings before he became a CIA contract officer. This was him as a SEAL operator working in Vietnam in 1968 at the start of the Tet Offensive. A real action-packed, well written, great, filled with. I've got a video. I made an episode a couple of episodes back that dealt directly with Jack Carr's Cry Havoc. And again, another great bloke's read. And if you know someone in your family who wants to start reading, this is another good book to get them engaged and entertained, not by a screen, not by a device, but by a good old-fashioned book. And again, if you want to, you can also, all these books have audio copies. You can listen to them, or you obviously can get them on e-readers. But I'm a big fan of material books. It's nothing better than turning pages, leaving notes, creating your own time capsule of the time that you started and were reading this book. So that's, again, Jack Carr, Cry Havoc, a great, fun, entertaining read. And then we've got Brian Brown, who is a well-known Australian actor, and he has now got into writing stories. And I guess stories like his are going to be either a collaborative effort, or indeed he may have a writing ability that he's been for authors, not films, that he's been hiding for all these years. Anyway, this is his second novel. It's called The Hidden, and it's about a village I think it's on the north coast, called The Heads. And I think it's what's the name of that? There's a part of Australia. Getting old, man. The names of places just disappear. Not Burleigh Heads. Anyway, it's a very famous village that is jam-packed with tourists, and it's just so it has taken a small village and has turned into a metropolis by the shore. Now, in the heads, it's about drugs and also a killer. And this is basically a novel that, it's standard, run-of-the-mill. But again, I think it's going to be an engaging and capturing read. I think people who don't normally read, blokes who don't normally read, will find this a fun first book for 2026 or first end of 2025. Now, what I'm saying is that Brian Brown is played many characters in films, overseas films, Australian films, and I'm sure that once people get to enjoy his style, you get the same sort of rustic, old world 1960s, 1970s Australian male, and it's a fun read. And again, I think someone who is hesitant to read will enjoy this book and won't be able to put it down. And again, all these books I'm mentioning are very entertaining. They're all page turners. They are written for enjoyment and entertainment and pleasure. And the next book, again, is from another well-known, huge writing, the John Grisham. This one's called The Widow. John Grisham, has written thousands of books. And again, he has a way of telling a story in a bureaucratic manner that is still exciting and still fun. The intricacies of the law turned into a sort of adventure detective story. And again, when you sit down and read this, it's going to capture your imagination because the story is central to entertainment. It's for joy. It's for pleasure. It's not a literary masterpiece, and that doesn't matter anyway, as long as you find John Grisham's The Widow something worth reading. And I think one of the lines is, she needs a lawyer, he needs a payday. So basically, you've already got the story in 2 sentences or 2 phrases. And the other blurb at the back of the book says, she could be his ticket to his fortune. So, down and out lawyer with a strange, mysterious client, and they both head to head in a legal battle. Now, the last book is edited. And it is edited by a bloke, that's why I picked it. And it's a real fascinating book. I mean, this book is perfect for the new reader, the new bloke reader. And if you want to give someone you love, your father, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, your lover, something that they can get their guts into, this is going to be it. Edited by Maxim Jabakowski. It's called Birds, Strangers and Psychos, New Stories Inspired by Alfred Hitchcock. Now, Alfred Hitchcock, obviously, I mean, you must know who Alfred Hitchcock is. He made movies, and basically his movies are inspired by Birds, Strangers and Psychos. So in this book, Maxim has collected these short stories, all written by pretty well-known authors, and basically each author tasked was to write a story that evokes the quintessential Hitchcockian experience. So these are multiple stories that can be read. One story can be read in one sitting and put down, pick it up again. And again, another well-timed book for Christmas, and a book that I think the bloke in your life will really enjoy. Now, after all that, we've got, let me read through them again. We've got Matthew Reilly, the detective. That's my favourite. You've got Dan Brown, The Secret of Secrets. You've got Jack Carr, Cry Havoc. You've got Brian Brown with The Hidden. And you have John Grisham with The Widow. And you've got Malcolm Jakubowski. I'm sure you should be able to pronounce things well. Okay. And we've got Maxim Jakubowski, Birds, Strangers and Psychos, New Stories Inspired by Alfred Hitchcock. All of these books, I guarantee you, will bring the bloke in your life some reading joy over the Christmas New Year period. So I think if you need to find something to buy for someone for Christmas, get them the gift of reading and try one of these 6, or even buy all 6 books for someone you really love and care and want to get into reading. All right, that's it for today's episode. And before I go, what have I been reading? Okay, so I just finished. I finished part 2, on the calculation of volume by Solveig Ball, and I did an episode on this volume 1, one episode before, and then I also read on the calculation of volume 3, and it was just fantastic. And I'm now waiting for book 4, which I've ordered, and it hasn't come in yet. And in between those two, I read The Magic Cottage by James Herbert, and I've been reading a lot of Herbert the last 5 months, just because a lot of his books have been written in the 70s, and I love the language. I love how they just abandon any care for what's the word, for pissing people off, because they just write. It's pure fun, and that's awesome. And as I'm closing out the year, I'm rereading George Orwell's 1984, because I'm doing my, hopefully by the end of the thing, I'm going to do my 100 novels that I recommend you read before the end of the year. And this is one of the books that I've added to that 100 list, and I really needed to. And again, this is, I don't know, my third or fourth read. More is revealed in this book. I guess reading, it's one thing that surprised me, is that when people say, why read a book twice? And you need a reason. And I've just discovered, when you read a book twice, it's like reading a new book. Because obviously your brain doesn't remember every line, but suddenly you remember scenes. Even if you've read it 10 years ago, you go, oh, that's familiar. But what it does is you start to pick up things that you didn't read or feel in the first, second, or even third reading. So George Orwell 1984, still a powerful, entertaining, and gutsy read. All right, that's it for BookMob episode 84. Please like and subscribe. Send me any questions. If you want me to review any books, just let me know. And remember, keep reading. Go to visit your bookshops. Just a sad note, the Neutral Bay Dimmicks in Sydney has just closed down after, I don't know, 30 years of business, which is sad, because I used to buy... I was going to that bookshop in the 90s, and then I moved away, but I still went back occasionally because it was a niche bookshop. And anyway, now that shop, Neutral Bay Dimmicks, has closed. And so try and get out there and support your bookshops, and browse and find books that you are just suddenly, never heard of this writer. Take a risk, take a chance, and read some good books. All right, thanks. I'll see you in the next episode. Remember, keep reading. Bye.